Hi guys, welcome to Easy Learning. I'll be continuing the third module today. So yeah, this is the topic which I'll be dealing with, that is contents of preliminary project report or a business plan. Okay. So these are the contents which are very important. Without these contents it is difficult to prepare a business plan. So whenever an entrepreneur wants to prepare a business plan or a preliminary project report, these are the contents which he has to follow. Okay, first we'll start with the first part, that is introductory page or introduction. Fine. In introduction phase, what happens, this is just the title or a cover page, you can say, that provides a brief summary of the business plan contents. Okay, it considers the name and address of the company, and it considers the name and address of entrepreneur, also his telephone number, fax number, email address, and a website address if available. Okay, and then it also it describes the company and the nature of the business as well. Clear? This is the first part. It is very basic and simple. Second one is executive summary. You all know what is executive summary, right? It usually executive summary is nothing but it is the summary of the industry or of the company which an entrepreneur wants to launch, right? Regarding this, he has to write it in 3 to 4 pages. He has to summarize the complete business plan within 3 to 4 pages. This section of business plan is usually prepared after the total plan is written. Okay, then about 3 to 4 pages in length, the executive summary should stimulate the interest of potential investor. Clear? This is the second part. Next, moving on with the next slide, here we have market analysis. This is very important. Market analysis contains of 3 sections here. First one is future outlook and trends. Yes, forecasting is very important here. Forecasting about the future demand of future sales is very important. That comes in a first category. Second is analysis of competitors. What your competitors are doing, what type of innovation they are adding up, what type of marketing strategy they are coming up with. All this thing you have to keep it in mind and write it down. Okay, next is market segmentation. You guys have studied the principles of marketing in your first semester only, so you will be knowing about market segmentation, right? What is his targeted segment? That has to be finalized, and that has to be written down in this project report. Clear? Apart from all these, he has to consider the factors like economy, then culture of the society or culture of the business. Then he should also think about technology, like which type of technology he wants to invest in or he wants to imbibe in his company. And he should also think about some legal concerns and industry demand and competition as well. All these factors have to be kept in mind while studying the market. Clear? Next we have fourth section, that is description of venture. Yes, what is description of venture? You all know what is a venture, right? The venture is nothing but the company which is set by an entrepreneur. Now describing that becomes description of the venture. Here it contains about products and services, that is describing what products and services you are producing or you are supplying. Okay, then size of the business have to be mentioned here. What size of the business, like it depends upon the investment. Basically, higher is the investment, larger will be the size of the business. Lower is the investment, lower will be the size of the business. Clear? Next we have office equipment and personnel. What type of office equipments are required in order to manufacture the products? You have to write each and every equipment you are utilizing in that. Fine. Personnel is the people who are operating those equipments. How many people you require, how many machineries you require. All these things have to be described. Apart from this, the key elements could be describing about the location of your business, then office equipment that will be needed, and also the background of the entrepreneur, and also maybe the history of the venture. All these things have to be kept in mind while describing the venture. Okay, this is the fourth content. Next, moving on with the next slide, here we have production planning. Yes, this is very important. Production plan contains Again, 3 sections here. First one is manufacturing process. Yes, each and every company, each and every industry has its own manufacturing process. Fine. How the production layout or how the plant layout has to be established, that is left up to the entrepreneur. How an entrepreneur has planned about the manufacturing process, that process have to be mentioned in the project. Clear? Next, machinery and equipment, from where he is procuring the machinery, from where he is procuring the equipment, what type of equipment and machinery he is using, what are its investment, how much of production capacity it is having, how much of per day, how much, or per week how much it can produce. All these details have to be mentioned. Okay. Then next, details of suppliers of raw materials also should be mentioned here, from whom you are procuring the raw materials. Each and every raw material you will be getting it through various number of vendors, you can say, or various number of suppliers. All those supplier list have to be mentioned in this section. Okay. Next, sixth point here we have technical planning. Technical planning here is all about planning for the technology. Say suppose if your company or your industry is purely a technical industry, or if at all it is related with the technology, then obviously more and more of investment will be there on the technology. Okay. If at all the industry is smaller in size, if at all it is man oriented, if at all it is human oriented, there technology is quite rarely used, or you can say only few sections are there where technology is required. Fine. All those technical plans in the entrepreneur's business have to be mentioned in sixth section. Clear? Next, moving on with the next point, that is marketing plans. Yes, here comes the heart of your business now. Now you produce the goods, that entrepreneur produces the goods in order to sell in the market. Fine. He is not producing the goods to store in his godown, right? His purpose is to make money. His purpose is to satisfy the customers. For that, he is producing the products or services, right? Now here he has to push the products from his godown to the end customers. Till this end processed in this journey, whatever he does comes under marketing plans, right? His pricing strategy, it could be his distribution channel, then his promotion strategy, his product forecast, all these things have to be kept in mind. Fine. Pricing is left up to him. He has to evaluate the cost of production which is involved in producing, and then he can set up some, or he can add up some margin ratio, that is profit margin ratio, and then he can set his price. Fine. If at all he is new in industry, he can go with a skimming price, or penetrating price also, depending upon the business, depending upon the product, he can go with both the strategies. Fine. This is all about marketing plans. Next, we have organizational and managerial section. Here the contents which are required here is form of ownership. Yes, this comes under organizational and managerial section. What form of ownership is entrepreneur is having? Fine. If at all he is a sole proprietor, then obviously it will be under his ownership. There will be only one owner, because there is only sole proprietor. If at all he is having some other partner, then it becomes partnership business. If at all he is having partner for his business, then he should mention clearly who is that other partner. Is he an active partner or a passive partner? Fine. All these things have to be mentioned clearly. Next, identification of partners. Yes, if at all he is looking up for partnership, then he should also mention that identification of partners. Clear? Next, authority of entrepreneur. Yes, he is the owner, he will be having the authority. What are his authorities? That has to be mentioned. He should know his authorities prior, before giving the responsibilities to the other members or other subordinates in the organization. Clear? Next, we have roles and responsibilities of members of organization. Yes, Now here you are hiring manpower, that is entrepreneur is hiring manpower in order to reach out or accomplish company's goals, right? Here in order to accomplish the goals, each and every employee should be given with his own roles and responsibilities, right? Then only he can achieve the goals of the organization, right? If each and every employee is successful in accomplishing his goals, then automatically company's goals will also be reached. Clear? All these are organizational and managerial section. These contents have to be mentioned here. Clear? Next we have human resource plan. Yes, this is very important section of any business, you can say, right? Human resource planning, it speaks about recruitment and management, you can say. Recruitment is the first basis in human resource planning. I'm sorry, I didn't mention the point there. You can mention first point as recruitment, then management, then labor. Okay. Okay, recruitment here starts at the beginning itself. Fine. Suitable, like, right person have to be bought in your company for the right place and for the right time also. It is, waste of time if you hire somebody who is not knowing to work in a computer, on a computer, right? If there is a computer job in your company, then you have to hire a person who knows computer, right? That is nothing but hiring right person in the right place. Clear? Then managing human resource is also very very important, guys. Not just hiring, but managing is also very very important. As I keep on telling you all, human resources are the biggest asset of the company, right? Because you are investing on your human resources, correct? You are investing today in thinking that they will give you returns. Investment, you are investing. Usually business is nothing but what? Investment, you do it for what? For profit purpose. You are investing on human resource. In return, you are expecting something, that is profit out of them, right? So it is very important to manage human resource, that is people who are working under you, that is people who are working under an entrepreneur. Clear? Next we have assessment of risk. Assessment of risk here is each and every business is associated with n number of risks, right? The risks could be from competitors reaction, or it could be from weakness in the marketing section, or weakness in the production or management team, or it may be because of new advances in the technology that might render the new product obsolete, right? All these things are nothing but sort of risks which each and every company or business will face. The first here, how will you evaluate the weakness of the business? That has to be mentioned here. Say suppose the entrepreneur faces some risks tomorrow, he should be knowing about his risk also, right? He should be a discussion of what might happen in future if at all the risk becomes the reality, right? All these things have to be mentioned under this section. Clear? Now next we'll move on with the next point, that is financial plan. Yes, this is very very important. Finance, without finance no company can run, right? First point here is sources and applications of funds. You are raising funds from outside. Any company you take, it raises funds externally, even though it has some internal sources, but external sources will be mandatory because there are n number of government facilities which are given for an entrepreneur. For this purpose, people or entrepreneur will always look for external sources of financing. Clear? Next, in financial plan you should also mention like what are your sources, who are your investors, who are your shareholders, right? All these things have to be mentioned. If at all you are taking loan from bank, then from which bank you have taken loan and how much amount you have taken loan, all these things have to be mentioned. Clear? Then cost and expenses analysis have to be made. What is your cost of production, that has to be analyzed. Then day to day expenses have to be analyzed, correct? All these will make you to set a proper price for your product. Then break even analysis is also very important. What is break even analysis? Break even point, we can call it as, it is a point where there is no profit and there is no loss, right? Your investment is turning out into returns. It is equivalent to your investment. That is, investment is equal to returns in this phase. That is break even analysis. How much time or how many years an entrepreneur requires to reach out this break even point, that should be mentioned in this section. Clear? Then last part we have appendix. Appendix is related with, backup material. It generally contains backup material, letters from any customers or distributors or some any subcontractors, are just like, they are just like examples of information that should be included in the appendix. Clear? Say suppose you receive some documents from your customers or distributors, somebody like that, those documents will act as information to you people. Clear? Then any documentation of information, it could be like secondary data or primary data used to support your planning decisions, they should be mentioned. Then these lease or these contracts made by you and the other party, those agreements also should be mentioned here. Then price lists from suppliers and competitors, those also may be added here. Clear? All this is about appendix, and this is the end of the topic also. All these contents are very important in order to generate a project plan or a business plan. Clear? I hope everything is understood. You guys can refer this for your examination also. Please like, share and subscribe my channel if you like my videos. Okay, thank you.